Welcome, Business Geeks, back to another Business Geeks podcast. We're so happy to have you. It has been 2 weeks since we have been here on the Business Geeks podcast. I hope you're all had a great Thanksgiving for all those that celebrated. And for those that didn't, well, I hope you at least had a nice dinner that night, wherever you are in the world. Anyway, I'm Super Joe Pardo, and I am joined by my two wonderful co-hosts, Jennifer Crawford of Sparent.co. Jennifer, let all the business geeks know, like in a one sentence, what Sparents are and what they can do for you.
Sparents are virtual assistants. They are stay-at-home moms, and Sparent is a virtual assistant agency that hires them and matches them with our business clients, hand selects them. So
love it.
It's a made-up word, I know, but
we love made-up words here.
Though?
Yeah, exactly.
Google was a made-up word. That's all I'm saying.
Well, at one point, no. Google is a astronomically high number. Yeah, it's a number.
Oh well.
Yeah,
my vocabulary is poor, so for me, it was a made-up word.
Well, hang on a minute. It would have been made up originally. I don't think woolly mammoths actually knew what a Google was. I'm always sticking up for you, Jen. I'm here for you.
You've got my back. I love it. You've got my back.
And we have Samantha Riley from Australia at SamanthaRiley.global. In a sentence, Samantha Riley, let the business geeks know what you do.
Yep, I help coaches to increase their income, their influence, and their impact.
Awesome.
That's
ding.
It. That was a short quit. That was short, but that's what it is.
That is the goal. So, I am Super Joe Pardo from SuperJoePardo.com, a profit growth strategist working with small businesses literally around the world. And we're streaming to you around the world here on so many different platforms at the moment, including over at joinentra.com. So anyway, today we have we're answering your questions in the chat. So if you have a question, a business question, or an Ask Me Anything question, I'm always down for an Ask Me Anything question. Feel free to drop it in the chat. It's so good to see Super Tim Brine and Super Denny Decoy in the house. So good to see both of you here. So if you have a question, drop it in the chat. In the meantime, we have some rapid fire things that I wanted to bring to the table that we could kind of go through real quick in a round table discussion. We'll start this off on a down note so that we can bring it up as we go along.
Okay. Hang on. Can I just say, Jen and I haven't seen these questions, and I know that both of my hands are sweaty. I don't know what's about to happen.
I'd like to pre-apologize for whatever's about to happen.
Joe's in charge.
Super guy, Super Joe. It's all good. It's all good, Super Danny. It's good to see you here in the chat. So the worst has happened. We talked about this a little bit, and it has apparently occurred as of earlier this morning, at least in our time. Sam, you're in the future. I hope the world's not on fire just yet, so we don't have to cancel the show now.
Well, it's not, but I did wake up to some news that China, some cyber criminals in China have tried to hack into the one of the power providers here in Australia, and that's that makes me so nervous.
Why is anybody mad at? Hold on. Why is anybody mad at Australia? It's like the Eastern Hemisphere's Canada. Like, come on.
Exactly. We should be sharing the love.
Absolutely. So I personally haven't had a chance to really go through all of the information and digest all of it yet about this massive shift. And hopefully this is the headline here, huge restructuring looms. Hopefully that is the worst that can happen. But if it's not, I'm still of the mindset that this could be one of the big stumbling blocks of the next 3 to 5 years, and maybe even 10. But we'll keep it like 2 to 5. Anyway, so that was just something that I saw. I wanted to get out of the way, and I haven't been keeping up on the entrepreneurs personally lately. So well, it was very draining. Can I just say, it was very draining to see all of the negative news and then try to put it into a positive light. And it literally, like, I go back and I watch some of those videos and I'm like, wow, I was exhausted. In some of those videos, like, it's just, I'm like barely able to keep myself together, and I didn't like it. I didn't like where I was headed with it. So,
well, good for you, Joe, for like really noticing that was happening, because we have to, as entrepreneurs, really, take stock of what's going on in our lives. It's so important. So big, like, kudos to you.
well, thank you.
I will also throw in a kudos.
I and Regger in the chat. Oh snap! Your videos are going to explode. Even your worst video. Bah, ha, 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 ha.
Oh, wow.
For anybody that has seen some of my Facebook posts lately, somebody said that they found the worst video on YouTube, and it was mine. So ding ding, I win the internet, I guess.
Oh,
yeah,
well done, Super Joe.
Right? I'm honored.
Emotion. That's good.
Well, I got to share that honor with Andy Wong, and if either of you know who Andy Wong is, he's phenomenal. Like, he's a financial whiz who's on Cheddar, the Cheddar station, and NYSE all of the time. So yeah, we made the worst video ever, apparently.
Well,
congratulations!
Yeah, that's
thank you. So, all right, I don't know if either of you heard about this CEO from Better.com. I want to get both of you. Yes, right?
Yes,
Apparently, he apologized. For anyone who doesn't know, he fired 900 workers via a Zoom call, which is probably one of the most devastating Zoom calls in history, considering Zoom's only existed for, 4, 5, 6 years. And now he's walking it back and saying he apologizes. So, Jen, what is your thoughts on firing 900 people all at once?
Well, a huge blunder. Like that title of that article is so accurate. One, I think we can all agree, a huge lack of empathy, I think, was displayed there. I think he handled it extremely badly. And then also just a huge misstep for the company, because it was so public facing, right? So we all got to see how this company operates. And I think it's going to affect them in the future in terms of investment dollars, and even getting a workforce, a healthy workforce to work with them, because who wants to work there? Who's going to be, they will be hiring again. Also, very public information, the CEO's salary, which I did not read anywhere, where he was taking a cut in his multi-million-dollar.
I think he got a bonus. Prior to this.
And had a huge hundreds of millions of dollars infusion of cash from SoftBank. So this plays really badly to the public, to the workforce. I can't even imagine what he was thinking. How does he even lead a company? To have judgment that is so bad, how did he get the position that he has? That's what I'm asking.
I don't know the answer to that question, but it's, as far as I'm concerned, it's a huge misstep I want to say almost as a human being. Look, Amazon, he out Amazon, right? Amazon is known for doing the robo firings, and he found a way to do it where one up Amazon, the biggest company in the world.
And I love how he started out, and he said something along the lines of, last time I did this, I cried. So it's already like such a lack of empathy, like, this is hurting me more than it's hurting you. Come on, loser.
Yeah.
Sam, what's your take on this?
Well, as CEOs, we do make mistakes, right? But that's not a mistake. That's just a complete lack of understanding of how to be empathetic towards people. That to me is more than a mistake. Like, sure, he came out and apologized, but it should never have happened in the first place. It's just awful.
It's a lack of character.
I think all right, I'll take devil's advocate here. # productivity hack.
No, Joe.
No,
this is
okay.
people. No,
No,
I
I
want
agree.
the productivity hacks. Yeah, I'm actually surprised you said. That's why I went quiet. I'm like, this isn't the Joe that I know.
No.
I know that you're all
No.
for the hacks, but we don't hack when we're talking people's
No.
feelings.
No.
This is like people's families, their livelihood. These are people that have to go home and tell their partner that they've just lost their job. I don't know how to pay my mortgage. I can't put food on the table. This is completely different to a productivity hack.
There were people
That's not cool.
sobbing, and begging him not to do this. I mean, how heartless can you be?
Yeah.
So obviously I was sort of joking on his part, right? But I did say, I mean, he did say at one point that he said 250 of those employees they stole hours. They only worked a 2-hour workday and they clocked in for 8. I'm not sure how he tracked that to know on that large of a scale. It's one thing to like track one or like 3 or 5 people's like what they're doing or whatever, but I don't know. I mean, it sounds kind of like an excuse, right?
To me, yeah.
Why are we tracking them? First of all, why are we tracking them? Why are we not tracking results? I'm a big proponent for outcome-based, work. Like, if you're providing the value, the outcome, and you're doing your job, like, who cares, like, how many hours it takes? I mean, to me, that is him, like, trying to make himself look justified in doing something that was very inhumane.
And just on top of that, because I totally agree with what you said there, Jen, what it's doing is showing me that he has not really cultivated a great culture in his company.
No.
If he's saying that people are only working 2 hours instead of 8, then I'm looking straight back at him going, how did the culture end up there?
Such a good point, Sam. Oh my gosh, such a good point.
Yeah. No, it does go with culture. I mean, it also goes back to the idea of like, oh, I don't want people to work at home. We want people to work here, and I don't know what the battle was prior to that, where like some of these companies are now running into like, our workforce like literally is fighting us to not come back to work. And we want them to come back to work, like people like or companies like Apple and bigger companies, and that I mean is a problem. But I mean, to be able to just like let 900 people go, I don't know how many people Better.com has employed as a whole, because that's a lot of people.
Absolutely. And am I right in that Better.com, if I've landed on the right website, is around mortgages and buying new homes? That's what we're talking about.
Yeah.
At this time when house prices and real estate is like on fire, what a weird time. It's not like that. It's a time where the economy's stalled. Like, I don't understand.
Exactly. And Joe, to answer your question, they fired 15% of the workforce. So they have a pretty big workforce. But to your point, Sam, like what else could they have cut other than people's jobs? Like, to me, if you have to fire 900 people and you need, what was it, $270 million of influx of cash to save your hide, like, there are bigger things going on. I just think that was just, that is just a quick way to make the numbers work without doing like some real, like, intense, cutting at the top.
Yeah, and going back to what you were, I can't remember, Jen, Joe, which one you said this, but if I was going to go and refinance my mortgage, I would not be going to this company after this.
No way.
No way.
Forget it.
No, right? And hopefully people remember and don't have short memory, because we, as people tend to do every time we click that buy button on Amazon.
However, then there's 85% of the rest of the company that you don't want to lose their jobs. Like, what has this person created? This is not good.
Yeah. So another quick one around the table. Working from home, you could get paid $10,000 to do that from Tulsa, Oklahoma. So I guess the idea is incentivizing. It seems a little late to the party, if you ask me, but incentivizing people to like specifically move to your town, your city, to work from home. Sam, what do you think of this?
I'm all for this. And there is actually cities all around the world that are doing it. There's a place in Italy where you can go and you can buy places for $1 to go and bring people back to the cities. I'm absolutely all for it. And I don't think it is too late to the party. Like if there's a city that needs more people, then can't we do this at any time? I think this is great. I love it.
What do you think, Jen?
I'm with Sam. I think, these incentives by these cities to get people to come, these financial incentives. They've offered these incentives to businesses for years, right? I mean, not these incentives, but tax incentives and such. I think it's really smart. I don't have a problem with it whatsoever. And with people being, geographically more and more agnostic, in other words, their work is, flexible and they can do it from anywhere. People are questioning where they're living and wondering if they are living in an environment that they actually want to be in. So I think people are more open-minded than ever to being more nomadic. And I think they're just taking advantage of that, combined with the exodus from corporate America and the Great Resignation. Super, super smart.
I agree, and I think that at $10,000, it makes a lot of sense. Like for people to, it's a considerable enough amount of money that if you're already like, hey, I could move here and it's going to be cheaper for me to live, it's going to be cheaper for everything, and I can get a $10,000 bonus towards a house, and or like move to like Italy where I could say, get a house for $1. I think Japan had something like that going on as well, but I think you had to be a Japanese, citizen to take advantage of that. You couldn't. I don't know if in Italy it's the same or not, but I know. Well, I know they had places outside. Yeah, I think you could do from anywhere.
You could go to Italy from anywhere, and there's other places around, like maybe some of the. I can't remember the place, but maybe one of the islands in the Caribbean. Like there's different tax breaks for entrepreneurs to go there. So I think I agree, Joe.
Yeah, no, I think I love it. I love it as well. It wouldn't. Oh, it's Locutus says the UK has £1 houses, but you have to do you. Huh?
I think you have to improve them, right? You have to.
That's the same as Italy. You have to improve them within a certain amount of time. Yeah.
And live there for about 7 years. I mean, that's
fair.
That's more than fair to me. Yeah, absolutely. It's definitely a choice. It's a choice that's out there to be there. And Denny, we will get to your question in a minute here. I just have a couple other little things to throw at the ladies. I'm not going to throw anything, but we got. Read the emails Elon Musk sent to Tesla's employees about music on the job, and the I don't know if either of you read about this.
No,
I have not.
Elon Musk is known for being spontaneous mass communication, including emails he dashes off to all Tesla employees. In one email sent in early October, he said, "Oh, it was okay to listen to music on the job. I very much support music in the factory, as well as any little touches that make work more enjoyable." Another one reminded employees who the boss is.
We got a culture thing there again.
Okay.
So I mean, I remember. So I was in the we were in the warehouse, and there was like a debate about music being played at one point, and this is going back, I don't know, 15 plus years ago. And I'm like, all right, well, somebody gets. Oh, hey, Thor.
Yeah.
Thor doesn't seem to understand that we're recording.
That's okay. It's all right. He just wants to be part of the show. He just wants to be a part of the show. It's okay. He's more than welcome. So yeah, and somebody asked like, oh, there was like a problem, like, oh, I won music. They wanted to play the music or something to that effect. Like two people are having a debate about it, and I was just like, look, just guys got to take turns. Like this isn't grade school, right? And I think it's really important. I think music is super important. I'm listening to music almost around the clock. aside from when I'm sleeping. So for me, like, I think it's actually, it's a production thing, right? And it's a making people happy thing. And, I personally don't take offense to reminding people who the boss is. My grandfather used to have a hat that said, "I'm the boss, that's why." And yeah, that's at the end of the day, like, that's it. It's his money, right? Like, he's the one that he's calling the shots.
I don't.
That's
I have a
very
stupid
true.
question. Probably it's a stupid question. Are they
No,
talking
there's no
about,
stupid
like,
questions.
no, are they talking about playing music like out loud, like for everyone to hear? Or is he talking about just like wearing headphones and listening
Yeah,
to your
I
own
was
personal?
assuming like, with your AirPods in and you're just doing your
Yeah.
own thing.
I'm gonna go with music out loud. I don't think
Hmm.
I'm looking at it. As well as any little touches. Oh, okay. An associate just sent me a note asking if we could have one earbud for music so the other
Oh,
ear can listen to
Jesus.
safety related
Sorry.
issues. That sounds fine to me.
Okay,
Also,
now I have a whole different take
okay,
on it. I have a
ambient
whole different
music
take.
from speakers is also totally cool, as so long as there is reasonable agreement among your colleagues as to music choices. If there are any other things that you would like to improve your day, please let me know. I care very much that you look forward to coming to work every day.
I have a problem with this. I
All right,
have
go
to
ahead.
say.
No, go ahead.
I think I don't know how to verbalize this, but I think my problem with this, no, I do know how to verbalize this, is that I don't like it when bosses like act like parents and that their employees are children. Having to ask
Mm,
daddy if they can like have an earbud with music in, like, you shouldn't have to ask permission to
mm.
be an adult.
Wait a
And I'm
second.
sick.
Let me hold on. We are talking about people that work in a dangerous in manufacturing situation, not a office. Just
Okay.
just to clarify.
Okay, if that's that dangerous, then those rules should have already been in place.
Mm.
Like, it
Mm-hmm.
shouldn't have been ambiguous. Um,
Probably, but they also have a history. They have a history of not having those kinds of rules. Elon has
it
a history
reads
of not having
very
those types of
much
rules.
like a parent to a child, that email to me, whether or not there's a safety issue. And I find that a lot in like corporate America. Like, there's this parenting, like, I own your time. I tell you what you can do during that time, like down to these like minute decisions like music. And I want you to enjoy your work environment. I want you to enjoy your room. It seems like they're being treated like children. And I don't get, I just, that doesn't play well with me personally.
Mm.
But I make a
Mm.
very bad employee, obviously, which is why I'm an entrepreneur. So,
I'm guessing that there's three of us on this live stream that are in the same boat.
I mean, I remember. So when I was at the nonprofit, I felt so mad because my team members, my interns weren't allowed to, because of the rules, weren't allowed to have music on. But they're literally sitting there programming websites, and I'm like,
Mm.
yeah, nah, it doesn't work that way. And then so I would actually break the rules and I would have one headphone in that was facing the opposite direction of the hallway so that I could
Yeah.
at least listen to music, because that would drive me up a wall if I had to sit in silence or just the noise of the building throughout the day.
Totally. I think it does depend on the application. I can understand in a factory environment where you need to be able to hear what other people are saying or to be
yeah.
hearing what's going on. I think that that is a safety issue. Again, agree with Jen. It probably should have been that rule right from the beginning. But if we're going to make the conversation bigger, then why are we treating our staff like children, or why are some people doing that? I know that one of our team members, when I interviewed him earlier this year, he said to me, "Oh, I've got a question. Am I allowed to have YouTube on while I'm doing the work?" I'm like, "Of course." I said, "I don't care how you deliver what we need as long as I've got the outcome. I don't care how you get there." And he said, "Oh, that's okay. It's just that my last boss used to like spy on me into my like with
Hmm.
different screen sharing things. He used to spy and then tell me that I had to turn YouTube off." And I'm like, as long as we get the deliverables, I don't care how you get there. So yeah, I mean, it does
Yeah.
depend on the application, but
Yeah. I get it with if there's a safety issue. I certainly get it.
Yeah, I mean, as Locutus says in the chat, I went to do a tour of an Amazon warehouse a couple years ago. They mentioned that they don't allow staff to wear ear headphones because they need staff to hear the fire alarm.
How quiet is that fire alarm? I mean, I can hear a fire alarm through earphones.
Oh, if you've got noise cancelling headphones in, I could, potentially. I almost got hit by a car a few weeks ago because I was wearing mine and forgot to look as I crossed the road and didn't hear the cars.
Oh my gosh!
There is a safety
I'm so glad
issue.
you're here.
Yeah. I'm glad you're all right. I mean, I've almost missed a flight once because I had headphones in that I couldn't hear the fact that they had changed where my flight was, and I get a text message because one of our sales manager happened to be in the airport because he was heading back to Philly, and I was heading to Orlando to go to catch up with my family on a Disney trip. And he texts me, "Hey, do you hear them calling? They've been calling your name for like 15 minutes over the intercom.
Oh.
You clearly." He's like, he can't hear it, so I'm not gonna call him. I'll send him a text, and as soon as he texts me, I'm like, oh no, and I like pull my headphones on. I'm looking around, I'm like, oh, they changed the gate, so I had to run. And of course I was like the last one on the plane.
And everyone knew your name when you got on. Oh, this is Joe Pardo.
They did. Yes.
Wow. You must be a much more relaxed flyer than I am, because that would never happen with me. I'm very nervous, so I pay attention to all. I can't just check out.
I'm just so used to flying that I'm also used to not having my gates changed very often. Mm-hmm. I know that it was that time, and then in Chicago, I think our gates changed. O'Hare changed like 3 or 4 times before we got on the plane. We went over here, and then they were like, "Oh no, go over there," and then we're like back and forth. So I mean, having the headphone thing. I get having one headphone out or enabling yourself to at least be able to hear, especially even in an office environment. That was my thing, with my interns. Look, I don't mind if you have one in, but I know the boss doesn't. Dan, I know you're listening. I know you don't like it, and that's okay. We can agree to disagree. So I have one other thing, but before we get there, let's answer Super Denny Decoy's question. What's the best way to get a valuation for your business? Who wants to take this one first?
Well, just make it up. No, just kidding.
Right? So I feel okay. So I'm actually kind of going through this right now with a potential partner on a business that they want to get me involved in. And looking at it, it's like, okay, well, it's not actually a business. It's a product with a patent, a couple of patents. But I'm looking at it, and I'm like, what is this worth? So we have to figure out what the valuation is, because if we don't know what the valuation is, then I don't know what percentage I'm should be entitled to, or there's so many questions that come up because we don't have at least a starting point for evaluation. So to me, I mean, there are accountants that you can get that will get valuations for your business. The way I would look at it is, let's just start with the basics. Depending on where you are in building the business, start with the basics, right? Look at what's the assets, how much time do you have in, how much is being paid to that time of either you or other people, lawyer fees, if there's patents, how much are the patents? Just start with the cost. I mean, the patents might be worth a lot more, but especially if it's a unproven market, then it's potential value is way high. It's always infinite, right? Forever and always. If I could get Kleenexes or tissue says a patent, back in 1900, then it's infinite value of money, but or infinite value of growth. But so start with the basics of what you have into it, and then go from there. But yeah, I would look at an accountant to at least maybe get the ball rolling, depending on where you're at with it. Who wants to go next?
Yeah, I mean, it's tough, right? Right. I'm sorry, Sam. What were you going to say?
No. Go for it, Jen.
Yeah, because it's a tough question, because I think there are so many variables involved, and I think there are people out there that might give you rough rough formulas. Like for service-based businesses, I've heard 2.5 times revenue, but that's really not true. I mean, that's not going to be the case across the board. My experience is mainly with service-based businesses. So, I'm looking at systems and infrastructure in place. I'm looking at, the client base, the revenue, the profit margins, all of that. So before, I think you could even begin to come up with a evaluation. I mean, to me, I want to see, even if it's a product, I want to see sales. To me, you can put value on a patent, but who cares if nobody wants what you're selling? So I want to see sales, or it has very little value to me personally. You've got to prove that somebody wants what you're selling.
Totally agreed.
Not a very scientific opinion, but
yeah, and it's definitely not my zone of genius either. But I would be going to a business broker, I guess.
Yeah. I think the other thing is because this question comes up a lot in my comments, right? And it's a tough one. And you can say, well, this industry, this niche, they get X amount on revenue, or they get X amount on profit. And there is a market value, but it also it depends on where you're at in the business. Like if you're pre-business, and you're pre-sales, it doesn't mean that there's no value. It just means that the value is to me is literally at the cost of where what you've spent up front to get to the point where you're at, and time included and all that. But it does, it makes it. It is tough to put because everybody does it differently. Oh, my point that I was going to bring up. Sorry, my point was that those multiples are really based on recurring ability of people to come in, right? That's why it's software companies, why are they valued at 100 times? They literally have done nothing, or they've only brought in 1,000, potential people to give them money, but, on a quote unquote free service or something to that effect. And the reason is because it's the opportunity and the scalability of it to grow at a rapid pace with minimal expenditures going forward, right? Because you can scale software, you can scale servers and things of that nature, and all that. But I would argue that if you've put together something that doesn't make any sales, especially in the software base, it's only going to be worth so much unless the data being mined from it is worth more than somebody giving you $1, right? And so but that's why those kinds of companies, those tech companies, software-based companies, are just worth so much more in multiples, because it can be scaled so much easier than, say, I make a cup, I sell a cup. It's well, I got to make cups, and I got to find the people that want to buy said cup, and all those things, and those designs, and maybe pay designers to all those factors go into it. But yeah, I would start with the assets, start with what time you have, money you have into it, and then, okay, well, it still might be $1 million idea, but it might only be worth right here, right now, $100,000, because that's what you have into it with zero sales to show that there's market viability past what you've gone through and created. So I hope that helps, Denny.
Cool. Wow, just keep those easy questions coming.
Ding ding. This post, I wanted to share this post with both of you and everybody here. Is that's the wrong button. There we go. I'll read it. Our Heritages is the best. The manager and staff are such sweethearts. Last night at 9:45 p.m., my can opener broke. Thanksgiving preparations were in dire jeopardy. I called Heritages, I always say it wrong, to ask if they sold any can openers. The young ladies told me that they didn't sell them, but they would open my cans for me if I came to the store. So at 9:58 p.m., I showed up with all my cans in tow, and they opened them all for me. So thankful for those girls. This Thanksgiving is brought to you by Heritage Can Openers. How cool is that?
That is super, super cool. These are the business stories that I love to hear, where it's real people caring about real people.
I think this is a beautiful story. I would not want to eat the Thanksgiving dinner this woman is preparing. It is all canned food.
Because it's canned food.
It's all canned food. I made a whole Thanksgiving dinner. I had 0 cans. 0 cans of food.
Wow.
So I'm just not sure where my feelings are supposed to be right now. I'm so impressed with the business, service and the feel good story, but then I'm just imagining these people sitting down to a canned meal.
You make me laugh so much, Jen.
Was I the only one thinking that? Like, why?
No, now you've said it, I'm like, yeah, I don't think there is only one can item I use ever. There's only one can in my cupboard, but I didn't even pick that up. So funny.
I don't know.
I don't know. I'm not a cook, so I wouldn't be able to tell. I wouldn't be able to tell.
Okay.
But I thought it was a cool story, cool comment, or or a post on Facebook. And yeah, they do close at 10 o'clock, so it was very nice of them to not close the door on them.
Yeah.
But I also wonder
good people.
why the person doesn't have a neighbor that they could call on to. I mean, it's like probably the night before Thanksgiving, so maybe the neighbors were all at out visiting family or something. I don't know, or because it was 9:45 and you don't want to bother your neighbors.
Maybe it was all cat food cans, and she was just having a Thanksgiving feast for her kitties.
Maybe.
Maybe.
I'm just letting my imagination run wild. Don't mind me.
Oh, you should be a author, Jen. A fiction author.
Fiction author, yes.
Just thought I'd better put that in there.
Yes.
So, did anybody have a whatchamacallit, money? What are we calling it?
My lunch money.
Take my lunch money.
Take my lunch money.
Because I have a one cool thing, and if you've been watching this show for a while, then you probably know. We went through the whole lifetime drama of Jen getting a new new bed for herself. And I was watching, for anybody who watches Linus Tech Tips, he brought up on his live stream that he was trying to buy a new mattress and was like going through all these things. And it was brought up in their live chat, this site that I had never heard of before. And I'm curious if either of you have heard of it before, called the Mattress Underground. And so this site is all about consumer education around mattresses, and reviews and all verified, verifiable stuff apparently. So because people got tired of BS reviews and the sales run around of the mattress industry. So they created the Mattress Underground, and helps you get accurate and unbiased information regarding your mattress and the selection process. So I just thought that was kind of cool and kind of resonated with the fact that we, went for so long following Jen's story there.
Absolutely. I think that's great.
Yeah, so I definitely give them. What's it called? They love hugged them. So when they mentioned them on their live stream, they have so many people watching that they actually shut the site down. They knocked the site offline.
Whoa!
Yeah, Linus has a tremendous amount of people watching and following, and they tend to have that problem when they mention anybody's website. It tends to go down. So. It's I personally am not in the market for a mattress anytime soon, but maybe in the next couple of years, and I will definitely be utilizing their resources to make that purchase.
Well, I am going to do a deep investigation because I don't know if you remember, but when I was looking for a mattress, I had this theory that there was one mattress and all these companies selling the same mattress under different names. And I found some evidence to that as I was researching, but I was so overwhelmed with my new mattress purchase that I just didn't have time to really spend time in it. And now we have this site, and it reminds me, and I'm sure it's legitimate. I'm sure it's a legitimate site, but I'm still curious about how many mattresses are the same mattress, just under a different company name. And it reminds me of the time many years ago when I sold my pet sitting company. That pet sitting company eventually got sold again. And the person who bought it was buying up a lot of pet sitting companies. And he started a website that was like bestpetsittingcompanies.com. But the only pet sitting companies on the site were the ones that he'd purchased, because they all had different names, because he, and they all had different numbers, all went to one office. And they were all the best. They were all great.
Oh my goodness.
So, and he even had the Better Business Bureau, which is, questionable, like how legitimate that is. But he had like the Better Business something. It was like a take on Better Business Bureau. And even the logo looked very similar, and it was endorsed by his. He kind of created Crazy Alice. He kind of created his own monopoly. Not quite, but in that world. So now, because of that experience, Joe, Samantha, I am skeptical of everything. So I'm going to have to do a deep investigation.
I think you should. I don't blame you. I mean, there's definitely things like that. Lots of sites that, have reviews and things of that nature. And you have to, that's why, like, a lot of times I'll type in the name of the company and then scam right after it to see what else is being said out there about those company, that specific site or that specific company, because there's just it's hard to tell, like, who's it's hard to tell anything. It's even hard to tell what is an ad and what isn't an ad, even in an age where the FTC is supposedly cracking down on said things. It's tough. I think that's a fair assessment there, Jen. And who knows if it's really real or it's really bunk and designed to get people to like, I'm standing against the big S's, the sort of Simmons, Sealy companies, but no, I totally agree. And the whole pillow top thing, I mean, that whole thing is basically a scam, right? Like, the whole idea was those people used to flip their mattress and then they could rotate it, two ways, and then they get, now with the pillow top you can't flip it over, so you only get to rotate it, and then that's it.
I never thought about that, Joe. Scandalous.
Yeah, and the pillow top disintegrates over time, so because you're using it like a third of your life.
So many things to think about.
There you go. Loquita says, I laugh when people complain to the BBB about businesses. What do you expect the BBB to do about these companies? So I have a story that's way too long to explain in this episode because we do need to wrap up soon. But where I actually had to call the Missouri BBB, and they actually pointed me to call the Attorney General's office of Missouri for a scam company. And I went down that rabbit hole. I was like, I'm not letting this go. And I could tell that story on another Business Geeks podcast sometime in the future.
Yeah, I think we need a story time.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think so. But we're wrapping up. Do either of you have any final thoughts you wanted to share before we wrap up here?
No.
Okay. It's okay to say no.
I have a public service announcement. Is that okay?
Ooh. Yep, 110%.
I know we don't normally do them, but this has been on my mind. So my sister is a stay-at-home mom, and her kids are both now in school. So she got a part-time job, and she's working for this. It's like a health, smoothie shop in a strip mall. And so one day she's working by herself. This was recent, and a gentleman comes into the store. And he's selling perfume, like he's going door to door. And he has those perfume swatches, and he asks her if she wants to smell the perfume. And my sister is like most women and very polite, and she smells the perfume. She doesn't buy anything. He goes on his way. 5 minutes later, the shopping center is just the police storm the shopping center, and there are all these cops show up. And it turns out that this is a sex trafficking modus operandi of sex traffickers now. And apparently this guy was doing a practice run, but if it hadn't been a practice run, those perfume sticks would have chloroform on them. So my sister was literally almost sex trafficked while at work. And I wanted to, I mean, it's not really funny. I mean, it's kind of funny because you're like, you don't expect it, like for me to say like, oh, my sister was almost sex trafficked, and it's actually true. It's only a little bit funny because nothing bad happened to her, but sex trafficking is a real issue. And I think a lot of women would have smelled those perfume sticks and not thought anything of it. And so please don't smell anything or drink anything or taste anything given to you by a stranger. It's just not safe.
Wow.
How scary is that?
That is super scary, Jen.
Yeah.
That is a great public service announcement. I've not heard of that.
I hadn't either. That's why I was like, it stuck with me. I was like, oh my gosh, I would have totally smelled that. So he was just casing the joint just to see if, does she work by herself, which she was, how busy was the shopping center, where was the parking? Because if she'd smelled the chloroform, they could have just like bustled her out and put her in the trunk, and you would never know what happened.
So the comment from you, Luke Locutus, the thing about chloroform is you need a lot over a long time for it to stay back. And that was exactly what I was thinking, was like a perfume strip is like, I don't know. It's been a while since I've been in a Macy's, honestly. But
I don't know how much chloroform you need, but maybe it's something similar to chloroform. I don't know. All I know is the cops showed up, and this is a thing that they are doing to get women, in vulnerable situations. So be careful out there, ladies. Be careful out there at your job.
Yeah. I mean, unless he's like doing the like smell this, and while you're not paying attention, he's like pulling out like the cloth, like a heavy doused cloth, and bam, like right to the face, like all right,
and just
go to
holding
sleep.
it,
that kind of thing. Because like I don't think a strip is gonna. I don't think the strip would be able to carry enough, but the cloth thing, I think that
could happen. That might be.
If movies are to be believed, that could be enough. Just because you sniff a bit of chloroform won't make you pass out. Yeah, it probably might give you a headache, especially if you were sensitive to it, for sure.
But you're right. Maybe it's the opportunity to get something.
Yeah, but we don't know what the whole situation is. But if the cops are involved, there's going to be something to be worried about.
Or it's just maybe it's like the icebreaker, to have that conversation, and then like you let it go and go and go, and then.
It's a way to get the woman close too, right? Close.
True. I mean, at that point, I would just use like a taser or something if you're going to be that close. Like, why?
Don't give him any ideas, Joe.
Joe, what are you doing?
Terrible. All right.
That was the end of my public service announcement. I should time that better, because I don't like ending on a down note at the end of the show. But safety first.
A positive note is Christmas is almost here, right?
Yeah.
And so we're going to be back next week with another Business Geeks podcast, broadcasting on the Super Joe Pardo channel and Facebook and Twitter and a whole bunch of other places that you can watch us. That will be at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time here in the States, as well as 8 a.m.
daylight time.
Boom, God, nailed it. And you can watch us then here and bring your business questions for us to help solve, because that's what we're really here to do, is to help business owners, entrepreneurs get to that next level, solve their tough problems, and bring literally, I don't know how many years of experience do we have between all of us?
Well, it's 28 here, and I think Jen and you guys are about the same.
Yeah, about 25.
28.
Been around business since I was like between 6 and 7 years old. So
time.
Just popped out of the womb, running the show.
I don't count the fact that I used to sell, sweets at school. I leave that bit there. But if we want to add that,
why? Hold on a second. Time out.
Okay.
That is experience, right? We don't all come out and become CEOs of our own business and stuff like that. Just there is a set expectation of what we can and can't accomplish from a certain age, and there are exceptions to that rule. We see it on Shark Tank like quite a bit, but that's, a national, almost worldwide examples being brought to the forefront. So I would say, no, that is an experience, and that experience you learned from in some way, shape, or form to help you get to where you are today. So
very true, Joe. Very true.
Take
Give yourself
that.
a bell. Give yourself a
counting
bell.
it.
That was very good.
Thank you. So anyway, we will see you here next week, next Thursday, 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 8 a.m. Australian Eastern Time on Friday morning, on that same Friday morning. And this episode is brought to you by your podcast concierge, right? Did I get it right?
You got it right. Well done.
Yourpodcastconcierge.com. Go check out Leon. He can help you with all of your podcasting needs.
Yes.
From beginning to end. He helps by editing this show for us and gets it up online. So it's one less thing that I have to do.
Done for you are my three favorite words. Done.
Yes,
Exactly.
absolutely. All right. So for Samantha Riley and Jennifer Crawford, I'm Super Joe Pardo. Have an amazing week, and we'll see you next week. Take care, everybody.
Love you guys.
Bye.